Hello, everybody. Today we're talking about the case of Lola Fry. And this case is a very rare instance where we have more than two photos, where we have more than 2 minutes of information. We actually have a decent amount this time. And I was so surprised when I was looking up her case because I've just gotten so used to all these older cases not really having much information. So I was like, wow, I finally get to tell you guys more than like a paragraph. So that is what we're going to be talking about today is the case of Lola Fry. All the links I used for research will be down below like always, and let's get into this. So Lola Catherine Fry was a 28-year-old former dancer at several Indianapolis nightclubs who was trying to make a fresh start. Her loved ones called her Kathy, and her family described her as shy but said that she sometimes enjoyed clowning around with her siblings. One of Lola's sisters said that two of her uh, Lola's goals were to get married and to have children. Lola was a former resident of Greenwood, Indiana, and she was very close with her family, and she always checked in with them, and she did that pretty regularly. She was one to never miss sending a card for a birthday or a holiday. She just always stayed in contact. Lola had recently moved from Greenwood to Fort Wayne to live with her sister Laverne. On November 14th, 1993, Lola was back in Greenwood to visit friends, and Laverne says Lola had only taken enough clothing for about 4 to 5 days. Several reports state that Lola spent the evening on November 14th with a former boyfriend by the name of John Riker, attending a party at a friend's apartment in Indianapolis. Other partygoers indicated that there were drugs and alcohol at the party, and that Lola consumed both. And some of the drugs was cocaine, uh, I believe weed, but I definitely remember that cocaine was mentioned. At some point, Lola became unconscious, and Lola's ex-boyfriend was seen carrying Lola to his car. He is thought to be the last person to see her, but he has never been charged in connection with her disappearance. When police questioned the ex-boyfriend John Riker, he said that he had taken Lola back to his apartment the night of November 14th. He claims he woke up the next morning around 7:30 a.m. to unlock a property for some coworkers, and when he came home about an hour later, Lola and her car were already gone. John Riker allowed police to search his home and business, and there were no signs of foul play that were located. He did fail two polygraph tests. However, when Lola didn't check in with her family for several days, including Thanksgiving, her family became worried and reported her missing on November 18th. Her red and black 1990 Mitsubishi Eclipse with the license plate Lola was also reported missing, and as far as I know, they have never even been able to find her car. So, Lola actually disappeared on the day that she was supposed to give her final deposition in a class action lawsuit against an Indianapolis based plastic surgeon. She had been employed as an exotic dancer at Brad's Gold Club and PT's in 1993, and she and some other dancers sued the surgeon, the owner of the club, and Dow Corning, the maker or a maker of the silicone gel implants. The plaintiffs alleged that malpractice and they had alleged that there was malpractice and fraud. After she disappeared, the other dancers dropped the lawsuit. We don't know if this had something to do with her case, but no one in the lawsuit was ever charged in connection with her case either. Shortly after she disappeared, a news media covered the case, and police received numerous calls and reports of sightings of Lola or her car, but none led to her whereabouts. So, police and the family conducted several searches over the years, including one with dogs that turned up some articles with what looked like blood, but nothing came from this. Police do believe that foul play is involved, and they do treat this as a homicide, although it's still classified as a missing persons case. Two of her sisters believe that Lola was dead in the Indianapolis apartment of John Riker, and that the men at the party hid her car and her body somewhere in a private property that police haven't been able to search. A PI, or a private investigator, told the family that he believes Lola may be somewhere near Hope or Schaefer Lake. Because she is still classified as missing and we've never been able to find a body, I do have phone numbers, and I also have a description for you. So Lola's description is that she was 28 years old at the time. She was about 5'5", 120 pounds, with brown hair, although in some photos she has red hair, and some articles do say that she had red hair at the time, but she is described as having brown hair the last time. With green eyes, she had breast implants, scars on her right knee and her forehead. Her maiden name was Coleman. Now, I said maiden name. I couldn't see anything about an estranged husband or an ex-husband. I didn't know until I finished my research that she had a maiden name Coleman, so I can only assume that she was married at some point and was no longer. Anybody with any information is urged to contact the Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana at 317-262-8477 or the Indiana State Police District Investigative Commander at 317-899-8577. Again, the phone numbers for the Crime Stoppers of Central Indiana, 317-262-8477, and the Indiana State Police District Investigative Commander, 317-899-8577. And that is the case of Lola Fry. So, I told you how two of her sisters believe that when John Riker took her back to his apartment, that he did do that, but that she was already dead when he did this. And I will also say real quickly, I only saw it in like one article, that when she was unconscious at the party, that is because she had overdosed on the drugs that she had been taking, and John took her out of the party, and most of the other articles just say that she was unconscious. So, two of the sisters do believe that she was already dead when he took her back to his place, and that some men from the party just helped him dispose of her body and the car, which I do believe. I think if he had the help, then he probably was able to get rid of if whatever evidence could have been in his house. The businesses that he had, it sounds like he is a landlord of some sort, or he manages properties, and I feel like he probably might not have mentioned all the properties he was in charge of, and that maybe Lola could be buried at one of them. That does make sense to me. When I heard that she was out partying with John Riker, I had a really bad feeling from it. And then when it said in my research that she was unconscious and he took her away, I was like, oh, he definitely had to have some sort of hand in it. Now, whether or not that he was directly supplying her with drugs or was doing stuff to her drugs or her alcohol while she was there, we don't know. Maybe she just did overdose and he got scared. He took her back to the apartment and just dumped her body, which is still a crime. He still would have knowingly hit her body and lied. But we don't know if he was the one that actually did something, or if he might just be guilty of covering up a crime or covering up a dead body. You know what I'm saying? That being said, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think that maybe he actually did do something to her? Maybe spiked something? Or do you think maybe she did just have an accidental overdose and he just decided that he was going to cover it up? Let me know your thoughts down below, because I definitely think that John Riker is very suspicious, and I am interested in knowing what you guys have to say. With that being said, thank you so much for listening to Lola's story. Hopefully this is one that we can get solved. I feel like it's so obvious who is at least at the center of it, in my opinion, and hopefully we can just bust this open. Thank you so much again for listening to her story, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.